I think looking back at Mass Effect 1 and 2, the whole story ends up being very challenging for us to develop. For players, it's as complex as it is to develop. It's simple for players because it's your choices that you make, and you know what you've done. We did do a few things to kind of keep some variables more constant. So, for example, Liara is not in your squad in Mass Effect 2, and that allows us to ensure that she survives for everyone into Mass Effect 3, where we can make her a major character. So we've done some of those things, but we've really allowed a lot of freedom for players to create their own storyline. We have a whole bunch of different states that Mass Effect 3 can exist in. So if you've never played a Mass Effect game before, it has a better way than ever to bring you into where things are coming from in the story, and then to really reestablish the universe for you. And then if you have played a Mass Effect game before, obviously importing that save game will allow you to bring in all those decisions, and some of them might be that they resulted in certain characters living or dying, and those things will be seen in Mass Effect 3. They'll have repercussions, and some good, some bad, but in general just really interesting differences in the way that the story plays out. So all the stuff that happens in the end of Mass Effect 2, where you had a suicide mission and you've got people that might die from your squad, those characters will stay dead, obviously, and something different will happen in Mass Effect 3. But part of the thing is we don't like to punish for a certain decision. We actually try to reward both sides of the decision in different ways. For new players, Mass Effect 3 is a great place to start because, first of all, we're doing something similar to what we did with the PlayStation 3 version of Mass Effect 2, where there's a bit that you can play at the beginning that is really the total story recap. So that really explains not only the things that you need to know, but it actually allows you to take part in choosing how you would have made certain decisions and understanding the value of those things in your story. So now you're totally brought up to speed. But then it's other things too. It's the fact that, because of things that happen in the end of Mass Effect 2, and then in our Arrival DLC, Shepard is on the Earth, basically answering for all the stuff that's happened before. That's a great place to reestablish what's going on in the universe and why. You're starting on the Earth, so it's a very familiar starting point. And then we start building out from there, and the story kind of expands almost more naturally than it has in Mass Effect 1 and 2. You're on the Earth, you're moving out to Mars, and you're starting to explore the larger galaxy. This really is the cherry on top of everything that you've ever done in the series. The relationships, all the major plots, the civilizations, the Geth and the Krogan, the Genophage, all of this stuff comes to a spectacular conclusion in each of those things. So we've built up to a huge climax in a way that you really can't do with just one game, because for people who are invested in these characters and the backstory of the universe and everything, all of these things come to a resolution in Mass Effect 3, and they are resolved in a way that's very different based on what you would do in those situations. Much of the story of the trilogy really revolves around Shepard for obvious reasons, but the things and the people that fans really love and identify with are kind of outside of that, and they're things like the Asari and the Citadel and the backstory behind these locations. We've actually designed places like the Citadel and Omega to be able to be kind of like like a Manhattan, where you could tell thousands of stories about what happens in New York City and Manhattan Island, and there will be thousands more, and many, many great ones, And we've kind of built that scale and that kind of texture into the universe, and it has credibility too, I think, because all of these different stories that we're telling are intertwined. So that's some of the fun that we have when we do a comic, for example, or we do a novel. We go explore different places for a while, and you can kind of immerse yourself in those. And I think those kind of prove out the viability of the IP in different media, because when you get the comics, for example, they're about different characters than Shepard, and same with the novels, but it's part of this larger universe that all works together. And we're just really excited about Mass Effect 3. It's genuine, palpable excitement that you can feel in the office because we know we're building the biggest and best moments in this whole series, and I think fans are just going to love it. Can't wait for you to play it.